I'm 44 and have been married to my husband David for just under 3 years. I have a son from my previous marriage, and he has a daughter from his. My son's away at college now, but his daughter, 18, about to start university, still lives with us. Things have always been tense, at best. We'll call her Lily. Lily and I aren't close, and I've never pretended we were. She's never liked that I married her father. I'm not her mother, I don't try to be, and I honestly figured in time we'd just coexist quietly. But even that turned out to be wishful thinking. Last weekend, I noticed something strange. My engagement ring, the actual one David gave me when he proposed, not some costume jewelry, was missing. It wasn't just sentimental, it's a custom design with a sapphire center and tiny diamonds around the band. David spent months designing it with a jeweler. It's unique. It's mine. At first, I thought I'd just misplaced it. I'd been cleaning earlier in the week, and I remembered taking it off to scrub the sink. Maybe I'd forgotten where I'd left it. I tore through every drawer, shelf, and laundry basket in the house. Nothing. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I asked David if he'd seen it. He said no, and we both started to worry someone might have broken in, until we noticed nothing else was missing. That's when I started thinking about Lily. Not because I suspected theft, at first, but I remembered something she said a couple weeks ago. She came into the kitchen, showed me a picture of a ring on her phone, and asked what I thought about it. It looked a lot like mine. She even said, "I love yours so much, I might just steal it," and laughed. I didn't laugh back. I never thought she'd actually do it, though. Not until the next night, when I saw a video pop up on Instagram. It was one of those trendy proposal videos. But instead of some romantic setting or candlelit dinner, it was filmed in our backyard. On our patio. At night. With a string of fairy lights taped to the fence and a shaky phone camera capturing Lily kneeling down in front of her girlfriend, holding out my ring. That's how I found out what happened. She used my engagement ring to propose to her girlfriend. Publicly. On social media. And the video went viral. The video had over 300,000 views within a day. People were flooding the comments, calling Lily brave, romantic, a total queen. Her girlfriend, Jess, said yes, by the way. She cried, hugged her, and then Lily slipped my ring onto her finger like it had been hers all along. And there it was. Clear as day. My engagement ring. That exact deep blue sapphire, the offset diamonds, even the little curve on the band that I always loved. She didn't even try to hide it. I sat on the couch staring at my phone, heart pounding. At first, I thought, this has to be a joke, right? A prank? Maybe Lily had borrowed it as a prop and was planning to tell me after. But the more I watched it, the more I realized it wasn't a joke. She had taken it. And now the internet was worshipping her for it. I showed the video to David. I expected shock. I expected anger. But instead, he just stared at the screen, mouth slightly open, and said, "I don't think she meant any harm." That was it. No apology. No fury. No go get the ring back right now. Just that pathetic excuse. I couldn't believe it. I asked him how long he'd known. He swore he hadn't seen the video yet. But once I pressed him hard, he admitted Lily had told him that same morning. Told him she'd borrowed it and had forgotten to mention it. And he let it slide. I asked him, point blank, "Why didn't you tell me?" He looked genuinely confused and said something that made my stomach turn. "I thought it'd be sweet if you found out through the video like everyone else. Like it was some kind of gift." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just walked away. I went to our bedroom, shut the door, and sat there, wondering how the hell we got here. How a ring that symbolized love and commitment between me and my husband ended up on someone else's finger, his daughter's fiancé's finger, and he didn't even think it was a big deal. That night, I didn't speak to either of them. Lily didn't come to me to explain. She didn't apologize. She didn't even text. She just reposted the video with a new caption. "Thank you all for the love ring. This ring has a beautiful story, one I'll share soon. Black heart sparkles." And then I saw it, the tag, #family_heirloom. She was rewriting the story completely. And the internet was eating it up. By the next morning, her post had over 40,000 likes. I couldn't sleep. I kept refreshing the comments, reading what strangers thought of my ring and her fairy tale. People were calling it a beautiful tribute to generations of love, praising the idea of a family heirloom being passed down for another forever. Some said it gave them hope and love again. I was sick to my stomach. But the real gut punch? A post Lily made the next day. A carousel of engagement photos with the caption, "This ring belonged to someone very special in my family. I wanted our love to start with the same magic. Thank you, Dad, for helping make this happen. My husband liked it. So not only was Lily lying to the world about the ring being a family heirloom, she was doubling down and making it sound like I gave her permission. And David? He was just going along with it, playing the supportive father, smiling in comments, letting everyone believe I handed over my engagement ring like some benevolent, glowing stepmother from a Disney remake. And here's the worst part, people started tagging me. I got private messages from Lily's friends, from people who follow my business account. That was so generous of you. You must love your stepdaughter so much. Did you pick out that ring knowing she'd wear it one day? I wanted to scream. This wasn't about the ring anymore. It was about erasure. She took something intimate, personal, full of meaning, and repackaged it to make herself the center of a beautiful lie. And the man who gave it to me was letting it happen. No, he was supporting it. I confronted David again that night, told him this wasn't okay, that the ring wasn't hers to take, that lying about it being a family heirloom was manipulative and disrespectful to both of us. And that's when he said something I'll never forget. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "She's young. She wanted to start her new life with something meaningful. Is it really such a big deal?" Yes, it is. But in that moment, I realized something. This wasn't just about Lily. David was choosing her again. After that conversation with David, something shifted in me. I wasn't just hurt, I was furious. Not just at Lily, but at the man who looked me in the eye and minimized what she did like it was a harmless favor instead of what it really was, theft, betrayal, and public humiliation wrapped in a sweet story. So the next day, I waited until she was out. She usually leaves late morning to meet her fiancé or go on one of her little TikTok advice coffee shop outings. I walked into her room, something I hadn't done since moving in. And there, on the dresser, in a little glass tray surrounded by perfume bottles and claw clips, was my ring. My ring. Seeing it up close again hit me like a brick. I picked it up and just stood there. The weight of it in my hand felt like a reminder of everything I thought this marriage stood for. Every promise David had made. Every vow. And now it was just someone else's content. A prop in a viral engagement fantasy. I didn't hesitate. I put it in my pocket and walked back out. I didn't tell David. I didn't make a scene. I didn't leave a note. But less than 2 hours later, my phone blew up. First, a text from Lily. "Did you seriously go into my room and steal my ring?" Then another. "This is messed up. What is wrong with you? I'm calling Dad." And then one more. "You're just jealous. It means more to me than it ever did to you." That one nearly made me throw my phone across the room. I didn't respond. But David sure did. He came home early from work, looking more panicked than angry. He didn't even ask if I took it, he already knew. He started rambling about how Lily was devastated, how she was crying and embarrassed because they were supposed to do a follow-up post showing family support. Apparently, she'd scheduled a photographer to do a mother-daughter bonding shoot later that week, with me. She was going to keep using me for the storyline. And now, I was the villain. He asked me to just let her keep it for the photos. "Just one more day," he said. That's when I lost it. I told him the truth, that this wasn't just about the ring. It was about being erased, ignored, and replaced in my own home. It was about him choosing her feelings over mine again and again, until I barely recognized the man I married. His response? He didn't say anything. He just stood there, blinking, like he was trying to decide if I was being dramatic or dangerous. So I walked upstairs, locked the door, and started packing a bag. I didn't leave that night. I had my bag packed, my keys in hand. But I sat at the edge of the bed for hours, trying to talk myself into walking out. Something held me back. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was exhaustion. Or maybe I just wanted to see how far this ridiculous story would go if I stayed silent a little longer. The next day, Lily came home like a hurricane. She didn't even knock, just flung the door open, stormed into the kitchen where I was making tea, and started screaming. I'd never heard her raise her voice before. Not like that. She was red-faced, shaking, nearly in tears, but not the kind that come from sadness. The kind that come from someone not getting their way. She called me controlling, petty, bitter. Said I had no right to take back something that meant more to her than it ever did to me. And then she dropped this line. "You're just mad people finally care about my love story more than yours." That hit differently. She wasn't just proud of the ring. She was proud of stealing the spotlight. She thought going viral somehow justified everything. That a few thousand likes and teary-eyed comments from strangers turned her lie into a legacy. And worse, David stood in the corner, silent, watching. I asked her one question. "Did you ever plan to tell people the truth?" She smirked, shrugged. That was my answer. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just turned, went to my room, pulled the ring out of my drawer, and held it in my palm. It didn't feel like mine anymore. A few hours later, the blow-up went really public. Because Lily, sweet, vengeful Lily, took it online. She posted a video, eyes glossy, voice trembling. Said her stepmother took her engagement ring and refused to give it back. Said she didn't want drama, but she had no choice but to speak her truth. She never said my name, but she didn't need to. The comments already knew. And now the mob was coming for me. I was being labeled bitter, abusive, controlling, a jealous old hag. And David? He liked the post. That was the moment something snapped. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her smug little face staring into her camera, playing the wounded angel. I saw David's name under that like button. The betrayal wasn't even subtle anymore, it was proudly posted, archived, shared. By morning, my phone was a minefield of notifications. People I hadn't spoken to in years were messaging me, asking if it was true. Even my cousin sent me a screenshot, saying this is you, right, with 100 question marks. I was tired. Tired of being silent. Tired of letting this version of the story spiral out of control. So I did what Lily never expected. I told the truth. All of it. I didn't write a sob story. I didn't use hashtags or ask for pity. I just posted a picture of the ring, resting in my palm, and wrote, "This ring was designed for me. Paid for by my husband. Given to me during our engagement. It's not an heirloom. It's not hers. It was taken without permission and used in a viral proposal video. And now I'm being painted as the villain for wanting it back." That's the whole story. It took off faster than I expected. By noon, my post had more traction than Lily's. People started comparing timelines, digging up screenshots, asking her for answers. Some of her own followers called her out, saying the family heirloom story didn't line up. One person even pointed out an old anniversary post I'd made with a photo of the ring on my hand. Lily panicked. She disabled comments. Then she made her account private. Then, radio silence. David was furious. But not at Lily. At me. He came storming into the bedroom like a man who just got caught with his hand in the internet's cookie jar. Said I embarrassed him. Said I'd stooped to her level. Said I'd ruined his relationship with his daughter. I reminded him, she stole from me. She lied. She made it public first. His response? She's just a kid. She's 18. Old enough to sign a lease, vote, and steal someone's story for online fame. But it didn't matter. Because in that moment, I saw everything clearly. David wasn't angry because I'd lied. He was angry because I told the truth. 2 days passed. Lily stayed quiet online, but in the house? She was louder than ever. Banging drawers, slamming doors, whispering loudly on the phone so I'd hear her tell friends I was toxic and unstable. At one point she even told David she felt unsafe around me, which was wild, considering I hadn't said a word to her since I posted the truth. David tiptoed around like he was caught between a bomb and a bigger bomb. He kept saying he didn't want to take sides even though he already had. He barely looked at me. The air in the house was thick, tense. Everything was crumbling, and I could feel it wasn't over yet. Then, right when things started to quiet down, she tried one last Hail Mary. She made another post. Not a video this time, just a carefully crafted wall of text with a blurry photo of the ring still on her finger, from before I took it back. It started with, "I never meant for this to go public again. I've been hurt and confused. I loved that ring not because of the stone or the design, but because of what it represented." She never admitted she took it. Never apologized. But the post was dripping with guilt bait. Phrases like "some people care more about objects than emotions" and "I wish she could have just been happy for me." Then came the kicker. Maybe the ring wasn't technically mine. But love made it feel like it was. Cue the violins. Cue the comments calling me cold, materialistic, bitter. Again. And this time, she tagged David. So he shared it. Captioned it with, "Proud of my daughter for staying kind through all this." I stared at the screen, pulse pounding in my ears. He wasn't neutral. He wasn't stuck. He was complicit. So that night, I made one final move. No more hints. No more calm explanations. I posted the receipt. Literally. I dug out the paperwork from the custom jeweler, the design sketches, the appraisal, the final invoice with my name and David's name clearly marked. I blurred the address. Left the rest untouched. And under it, I wrote, "You can write 1,000 captions about love. But stealing someone's ring, lying about where it came from, and weaponizing the internet when they ask for it back? That's not love. That's manipulation." No hashtags. No smiling selfies. No emotion. Just facts. And this time? The internet sided with me. By the next morning, everything had changed. People began turning on Lily. Not everyone, but enough. Enough to make her feel the pressure. Enough to wipe the smile off her picture-perfect online persona. My post with the receipt had been shared thousands of times. The timeline was too clean, the proof too obvious. Even people who'd defended her before started asking uncomfortable questions. If the ring wasn't yours, why lie? Why not just apologize instead of making your stepmom look like a monster? She tried to hold it together for a day, posted an "I'm taking a break for mental health" story, a black screen with a white heart emoji. But she couldn't resist the attention. Not for long. Less than 48 hours later, she deleted every post with the ring in it. Every photo. Every video. Gone. And just like that, her perfect viral proposal story disappeared. But the damage wasn't just online. At home, things got cold. David barely spoke to me unless it was something practical: bills, groceries, dinner. He slept on the couch now, not because I asked, but because I think even he couldn't face me in bed anymore. Lily started staying out late, sometimes not coming home at all. She blamed it on needing space. I didn't ask where she went. I didn't care. But one night, around midnight, I heard her come in. She was crying. And I know I should have felt something: relief, vindication, maybe even pity. But I felt nothing. She passed my bedroom door and paused. I thought maybe she'd knock. Maybe she'd say something. She didn't. She just went to her room and shut the door. The next morning, she was gone again. David came into the kitchen while I was drinking coffee and stared at the floor like a teenager about to confess to breaking something. Then he said, "I think I messed everything up." I didn't say anything. Because yeah, he did. And now, I had a choice to make. After that morning, David kept trying to talk. Not with apologies, though. No accountability. Just tired sentences starting with "I didn't know" and "it got out of hand" and ending with "she's just a kid." The same line, over and over. Every excuse he made for her was another nail in the coffin of our marriage. I realized something in those silent conversations, in those awkward dinners, in those long, cold nights when we were no longer even pretending. He wasn't protecting her because he believed she was right. He was protecting her because he couldn't stand the idea of being seen as the bad guy. He was afraid of being the father who failed. So instead, he became the husband who folded. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make threats. I just made a plan. I called a realtor and asked about short-term rentals. I had savings of my own. He never bothered to ask how much I had, and I never offered to share. I met with a lawyer. Quietly. Carefully. I got everything in motion before he even knew what was coming. And then, one afternoon, while Lily was out pretending nothing ever happened and David was in the garage trying to fix the door he'd ignored for 6 months, I left. No drama. No farewell. Just a note on the counter that said, "I didn't leave because of the ring. I left because I was never really part of this family. And you never made space for me to be." I blocked both of them. Changed my number. I didn't look back. It's been 6 weeks since I left. I'm staying in a small rental about an hour outside the city. Quiet, surrounded by pine trees and silence. It's not glamorous, but it feels like mine. I unpacked my things slowly, like I was learning how to belong somewhere again. Without compromise. Without apology. The ring? I didn't take it with me. I left it on David's desk the day I moved out, inside the little velvet box it originally came in. Closed. Untouched. Let him decide what to do with it. Let them both stare at the symbol they turned into a sideshow. I heard through a mutual friend, well, more like a neutral friend, that Lily posted a final video a couple weeks ago, one of those drawn-out, teary "I learned so much" speeches. Apparently, she blamed the pressure of going viral, said she overstepped and needed time to reflect. Her followers praised her growth. Of course they did. David? I haven't heard a word. Not a call. Not an email. Nothing. And that silence? It's peace. Then, just a few days ago, I got a package. No return address. No note inside. Just a small padded envelope. And in it, the ring. My ring. Still in its velvet box. No explanation. No apology. Just the weight of everything they never said, sitting quietly in the palm of my hand. I stared at it for a long time. Then I zipped it back up and put it in a drawer. Because I don't need it anymore. It was never about the ring. It was about the boundaries no one respected. The version of me they edited out of the story. But here's the thing they forgot. I'm the one who lived it. Not the one who filmed it. Not the one who liked the posts. The one who left and didn't look back. And that's the part of the story they'll never control.